That's a thunderstorm right there. I can hear the thunder. So the question is, can we get there and back without getting wet? Guess we'll find out. Welcome back to another week of Procrastination Garage. My name's Matt. So what's in store for this week? Well, let's see. We're working on a lawnmower. My daughter and I are out running in thunderstorms, and head to the cabin and test out the Jackery some more. Hope you guys will sit back, watch the video. Please hit the like button, please subscribe, and please tell all your friends. We'll see you at the end. I felt a sense of accomplishment last week getting this snowmobile all put back together and fixed up and running and brake system checked over and everything. But we really need to get it out of the shop, and then I'll really feel accomplished when we get it back in the snowmobile trailer. It'll free up a little bit more room in here. But of course, that's no easy project in itself. We've got to get the UTV out of the way. We've got to get the snowmobile out. We've got to get it across the gravel, onto the asphalt, and load it in the front of that trailer, which means the motorhome's in the way and the white truck is in the way. So we better concentrate on getting a path cleared out, and then let's get to work. That's a pretty good start. So now we can open up the snowmobile trailer. Alright, we got a snowmobile in the way there. Other obstacles, we're going to go ahead and we're going to blow some of the little gravel chunks out of the way, because when we reach the pavement we're going to want to put it on wheels. Need to move that hose, otherwise we'll slice it. And then there's an extension cord over there in the door. We need to get that out of the way. So a little bit of work to do. I'm more than a bit surprised. Usually when the little dollies hit the gravel, the skis slide off the front of them and they get left behind, and then when I got up here to the pavement again, I'd have to put them on there. The one thing is that snowmobile has some really aggressive carbides, and they stick pretty good to whatever's underneath them, so that's probably why they didn't come off. But that's good. That made that job easy. I expected a lot more effort than that. Alright, so now in the snowmobile trailer itself, my machine, I need to back it up, and then this one here I need to pull forward because I need to get this orange one around it because it needs to go in on the far side there. So let me get that done. it took a bit more jockeying. It wasn't so much a problem getting this door to close here. The real issue was getting the back door to close. And the reason was because my sled, the black one there, is just so long. So it's a matter of getting the skis in agreement with each other. You know, you got to get them to where they can be touching each other, but they can't be putting pressure on each other because they're plastic and they'll deform if they sit in the wrong position for too long. So after moving things around a little bit, I finally got it situated. Mine I've got tilted more over to the side, and that's my daughter's sled. I've got it moved over the slide as well. But at the end, everything's in, all the doors will close, and it's good for storage for the rest of summer. Now, usually during the season, I'm only hauling 3 sleds, but I can haul all 4 in a pinch. Since we have a hole in the shop, let's fill it with something. So this package was delivered today, so I'm assuming this is the new throttle assembly I ordered to go on this machine, because we can't use it until we get the throttle fixed. Because it's flat out, something in this mechanism is broke. It's not moving the cable, and it's not the first time I replaced this. And Troy Built knows that this is a problem, because in their list of routine maintenance parts, this part number is listed. So why do you suppose that is? This is the second time I've replaced this, and as I recall, it's pretty simple. You've got to disconnect the cable here. You've got a clamp holding it there. I've got a zip tie around the cable here holding some electrical, and then you've got to route it through this little thing there, offset, and then the rest of it, I think, it just clips down in here, so I just got to figure out how to bust that clip loose to get it out, and then installing a new one is reverse. Turns out that's a Torx. I guess I've used the right tool for the job. What do you think? Done deal? I think so. Let's go try it out. So we're not at 100%. The way the throttle cable is adjusted right now, there's a little detent in the lever. And when it's in that detent position, that's supposed to be full throttle. And in fact, it's got the choke engaged a little bit. You could see the black smoke bellowing when I first started. So let's see what we can do about that. That seemed to fix it. It's time to go mow. It's Tuesday afternoon around 3 p.m. Dog and I, we decided to make a trip to the cabin, northeastern Oregon. And we decided to drive the little Copper Toad because this is a non-work trip and we might as well get as good a gas mileage as we can. And it's the first trip bringing the Jackery up to the cabin. So let's see how it does. This is normally where I hook up the Honda 2000 watt generator. We've got a plug right there that I usually plug into the generator, so we'll plug it into the front of the Jackery and let's see what happens. All right, the Jackery's putting out power, and you can see we've got a little bit of a load on it. That's interesting, showing 7.9 hours. I'm not sure exactly what's sucking the juice out of it right now. 308 watts going out. We'll have to figure that out. Anyway, Jackery's sitting at 97%. And mainly what's inside that should be turned on are lights, but I do have a TV in there. I'm not sure if it's turned on. Let's go figure out what all's on. The dog is whining because she thinks it's treat time. And in fact, it is treat time. 3 o'clock is treat time. Just a sec, dog. Anyway, I've got a couple of lights on over there. They should not be on. They should go on when I turn a remote switch on, but for some reason that switch doesn't work right, so I'll shut them off. All right, those lights are off. Inside the cabin, we've got this light on. We have that light on. We've got that light on. Light over there. And a light there. Oh, the TV is on. Okay. That explains it. And then the microwave is plugged in and just, well, not even flashing. So that's pretty much everything that's being powered right now. So we'll just sit back and see what happens. The Jackery's been running about 3 hours, and right now, while it's drawing 450 watts or so, it's been right around 300. What did it are some incandescent bulbs, which I have out here in the shed, which are the only incandescent bulbs I've got left. Everything else has been fluorescent up here. I need to change everything over to LED. Anyway, regardless. So what we're going to do now is we're going to test two things. There's the Honda 2000 watt generator. First, we're going to see if that'll even charge the Jackery. I suspect it will because the thing is supposed to be able to put out 1600 watts continuous. But we know this pulls over 1500 watts continuous when it's charging, or around 1500 watts continuous when charging. But the other thing we're going to be testing is you're supposed to be able to charge it and use it at the same time. So basically, while we've got power coming out of here going into the cabin, we're going to be running the power from the Honda back into the Jackery. And it'll be interesting to see how long it takes to charge it. It normally takes 2 hours to charge it when you're plugged into an electrical outlet. So the fact that we're drawing power at the same time, that number it'll take longer than that. So you got to see my frustration with the Honda generator. That thing, when it's been sitting for a couple months, does not want to start easily. I was a good, what, 20-30 pulls. I'd have to go back and count them, but it was a lot. Once it fired up, it's running just fine. I usually have it in eco mode, so I turned off the eco mode before I plugged the Jackery in. And as you heard, the Jackery just about killed it. It nearly died, and then it caught itself. The Jackery is sucking about 1,350 watts right now charging, still putting out 300 watts to the cabin. Jackery says it's going to take 12 hours to charge fully, but it's sitting at 54% right now, and it was at 51%. It's been running about 5 minutes. So that 12-hour charge time doesn't seem too accurate. So it's 6 o'clock now. We're going to come back out around 8 o'clock and check it. And really that's all it's going to run tonight, because I'll shut it off at 8 o'clock. It's obvious I need to have my glasses on when I'm doing things. I just went back to look at it real quick, and it's at 57%. And upon closer inspection, it's actually 1.2 hours, not 12 hours to charge. So in theory, it should be charged up by the time 8 o'clock rolls around. We'll see. The fact the cabin is pulling 300 watts right now tells me I need to reduce my footprint. The TV, I don't know what the draw on that's going to be all the time, but it's not going to account for all of that. It seemed like when I turned the TV off, the difference is only about 50-60 watts. So I need to change out all the compact fluorescent bulbs that are up here, change them over to LEDs, and check and see if I've got anything else running that's sucking power. Like the microwave, you know, how much draw is it when it's just sitting there? Shouldn't be too much, but there may be some other things that are plugged in that I don't really give much thought to. So we'll work on that over time. It's just before 8 p.m. And we're at 100%, so I'm going to shut this thing down. All right, nice and quiet, sitting at 100%, outputting 291 watts. So the nice thing is I can lock this shed up, leave that thing running, and I'll have electricity tonight. Usually what I have to do is come out here around 10 o'clock when it's time to go to bed, shut the generator off, lock everything up, and go in the cabin where there's no lights, unless I want to light a lantern or something like that. So this is going to be huge to have light in there at nighttime. That's it, locked up. We'll see you in the morning. It's just before 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning, so let's see how we did on the Jackery overnight. So for about 2 hours I drew 300 watts, and then I went to bed. I think I turned everything off except the microwave was still plugged in. %, and right now 106 watts being used. I've got 2 lights on and the microwave's plugged in. So where else is power going? I'm not sure. We're going to figure that out. It's about 9:30 a.m. and I'm getting ready to go start the generator to charge up the Jackery. It's hard to believe I've got a fire in the wood stove, but even though it's the beginning of August, it was just a little cool in the cabin this morning. So it's warming up outside pretty nice, so I'll probably let the fire burn down and we'll be good for the rest of the day. But let's go check on the Jackery. Whoa, Jackery's down to 5%. That's not good. Let's get this bad boy charged up. So in the cabin, I've had the TV on since I got up this morning, so we've been drawing some power. Dog and I just relaxing. When I plugged the Jackery into the generator this time, it didn't make the generator struggle at all. So I'm not sure why that was yesterday. It's certainly drawing full power. Being clear down to 5%, this will be a good test for it. Let's see how long it takes it to charge up. Uh-oh, got really quiet out here. That's because the generator quit. Some dumbass forgot to fill it up with gas before he turned it on this morning. So we're up to 61%, and I can hear the fan running on the Jackery. All fixed. I'm not sure how much gas was in the generator anyway. I didn't fill it up when I got it out yesterday, and certainly didn't fill it up today. Running at these high RPMs, it's going to suck through a lot of gas. Usually the generator will run about 8 hours in the eco mode, maybe a little more than that. So, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. The goal is to keep the Jackery charged. The generator's been running for a couple hours now. Let's see where we're at. So the dog and I did a thing. Usually we don't do this. on this shorter trip, but I went ahead and ran to town, ran back to Walmart to pick up some LED light bulbs. So we're going to see what we can do about minimizing our wattage footprint. Anyway, we're on our way back up, and we're only about 10 minutes from the cabin. So right now, everything should be turned off. This thing should be pulling 0 watts. Is it? No, it's pulling 22 watts. 23 watts. I don't know what that is. I have no clue. Something in the cabin is still pulling some wattage. Let me go take a look. Still showing 21 watts. I thought the microwave was plugged in, so I unplugged the microwave. So that made, that's 2 watts, so the microwave was taken. All right, 0 watts, 1 watt. We can live with that value. What I found was where I had the 1 power strip, I actually had 3 power strips connected there. And so I had only shut 1 off, the other 2 were still on. I'm not exactly sure what's plugged into them. We'll have to check that out, but whatever it is draws 23 watts. Okay, now we're going to go turn on all the light bulbs we normally have on in the house. With the 4 main lights on, I'm pulling 130 watts, 129, 130. We'll use that number about, well, no, it's in 128. We'll use 129 as our number. All right, so scratch that last number. After waiting almost 10 more minutes, the thing has dropped down to 108, 109 watts, and it's holding, well, see now it's dropped to 107. So as those light bulbs have warmed up, they actually have been consuming less wattage, so they've dropped down. I think probably 108, 109, maybe 107 is about as low as we're going to go. Yeah, jump back to 109. I'd say 108 is a good number to use. I replaced 6 bulbs, and it brought it down from 108 to about 78. So that's not too shabby. So we went from compact fluorescents to LEDs. All 6 bulbs are 100 watt bulbs and are 100 watt equivalent. And I think that was the case with the CFLs that were in there. Most of them, if not all, were 100 watt equivalents. So we can live with that. That's a positive improvement. That's with the power strip plugged back in. I found 3 things I could permanently unplug. One was the old TV. One was the antenna rotator thing that I don't use anymore. And then the other was the SWR thing for my satellite dish, which I'm no longer using. Got a glare there, I see. So that's pretty good. Also, I condensed down to where I'm only using 1 power strip, where before I had stuff plugged into 3 different power strips. So that's where we're sitting. So that's with the TV on right now, the DVD VCR player plugged in, the antenna amplifier plugged in. I think I've got my hotspot plugged in, charging, and then I've got one other thing, my tablet is charging right now. So that's not too shabby. Out here in the shed, I've never switched out these incandescent bulbs. There's one here and then another one right there. So I'll go ahead and put 100 watt equivalent LEDs in those. All swapped. Some of you may be wondering what I do for security up here. Well, a couple things. I've got an alarm system that's tied into cell phones. And then also I've got multiple game cameras set up around the property, hoping to catch pictures of faces of people that don't belong here, and also pictures of the game. So I can't really show you where they are, but I'm going to go ahead and pull all the cameras down, check the memory cards on them, maybe swap the batteries depending upon what shape they're in, and put them back up. So if I find anything interesting on the game cameras, I'll include it in this video. It's about 7 p.m. We're going to go ahead and charge this up for the night. See where we're sitting right now. Oh yeah, we're doing good. We're at 44%. So this should only take an hour to charge. Well, here's something kind of interesting. With the generator running and the power still coming out of the Jackery, these new LED lights, they flicker a little bit. Quite a bit. That's not really cool. Guess it is what it is. Alright, I found the problem. As soon as I turned off the TV, the generator stabilized, the light stabilized. So with the TV on, we're just, because the TV's pulling about 200 watts by itself, it was just enough to make the generator unhappy, because the Jackery is trying to pull 1500 watts, and that puts it over the 1600 that the Honda is capable of putting out all the time. So, all right, now we know what the deal is, and we'll go from there. It's just after 8 p.m. and it's starting to get dark out. Time to shut this thing down. 99%, I think we can live with that. It's about 7:30 on Thursday morning. Been up for about an hour. Dog got me up a little earlier than I wanted. So last night, Jackery was sitting at 99% at 8 o'clock. Watched a movie for a couple hours. Had some lights on. I guess I used the microwave oven to reheat dinner, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and that was about it. I shut everything off when I went to bed last night. So when I got up this morning, Jackery was sitting at 60%, and since then I've run the microwave for about 6 minutes, and I've had the TV on, some lights on. So now it's down to 50%, and I suppose that's about right. I was lazy using the microwave. I was cooking bacon. I could have easily fried it in the frying pan. Anyway, gonna hang around here for, like I said, about another 2 hours. During that time, eat breakfast and watching a movie. Gonna finish the movie, and we'll see where the Jackery is when we get ready to go. What do you say, little doggy? Is that a wrap? You ready to go home? All right, so we're about 10 o'clock, and we're all packed up, ready to go. Let's take a look at the Jackery as we load it up and see where we're sitting with power. Jackery's at 14%. That's a pretty good place to shut her down. All right, let's head home. It's Saturday morning around 11 a.m. and as you can see, things are kind of damp around here. It actually rained a little bit last night, rained a little bit this morning. I'm getting ready to jump in the Copper Toad, and I'm headed to the Yakima Sun Dome, the fairgrounds, and the Vinteeks car show is going on this weekend. Gonna meet my daughter there a little bit, and we're gonna check out the show. I'll show you some pictures. So my daughter Ryan wants to take the UTV to go pick up pizza. That sounds like a pretty good idea, you know, looks like a nice day out. Except, that's a thunderstorm right there. I can hear the thunder. So the question is, can we get there and back without getting wet? Guess we'll find out. Well, we're picking up pizza, but we're ahead of schedule, and he said it's going to be about 10 minutes. So the question is, that 10 minutes, can we afford it?
Is there going to be any? Yeah.
Because there's thunder. There's thunder nearby, so we'll see how it works.
Big raindrops are coming. We're almost home.
That's a wrap on this week's Procrastination Garage. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember, the #1 goal of Procrastination Garage is to keep me motivated, to get me working down in the shop or out in the yard or even up in the mountains playing, just so I'm not sitting around watching YouTube and TikTok videos all day. Down in the comments, why don't you tell me what you're procrastinating about, or tell me about the project you are working on. I hope you hit the like button. I hope you subscribe. I hope you tell all your friends. And I hope to see you next week. Remember, my name is Matt, and this is Procrastination Garage. We'll see you then.